Dear Patriots, before the news starts, please subscribe to our patriotic channel by clicking the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up to this video. Don't forget to leave your opinion below in the comments section. Share the news on Facebook and Twitter so your friends see it. Thank you.
Checkmate. Trump just threw every crooked Republican under the bus with what he did. President Trump said on Thursday that other GOP leaders in Congress tied legislation to raise the debt ceiling to a Veterans Affairs bill. He said their failure has led to a political mess surrounding the issues. Trump targeted Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and Paul Ryan in the tweet. "That's gonna hurt. This is why you don't mess with Trump." Congress has a September 30th deadline to raise the debt ceiling. If they don't do it, the U.S. will not be able to make their payments and the nation's bond rating will go down. That's a fancy way of saying that they would screw the government if they did that. The veterans legislation that Trump referred to is being signed into law on Wednesday. "You know how this place works, you always stick something people love onto something people hate," Roe said, according to Dow Jones. "Obviously something that has to be done, that's what we always do to get the debt ceiling raised," said Representative Phil Roe, R. Tennessee, via The Hill. Share this if you think that it's time for Republicans to get to work in the House and Senate. They need to do their damn jobs or else they are out next year. Build IT. Top Republican just told Trump genius plan to make Dems pay for the wall. Today one of the top Republicans in the House, Representative Steve King, unveiled his own genius plan to force Dems to pay for the border wall. King was on Fox News last night when he revealed the surefire plan that will give the Democrat Party chills. Trump needs to veto any appropriations bill without the wall until they give up. Rep. King revealed the plan on Fox News last night. The president said he is going to build the wall. If he vetoes an appropriation bill because it lacks funding for the wall, $1.6 billion. If he vetoes that, Congress has to override the veto. The votes won't be there to override a presidential veto and eventually, this will get done. King also brought up the very underreported fact that Dems are also threatening their own government shutdown if Trump refuses to give abortion funding to Planned Parenthood. The other thing is the Democrats are ready to shut the government down if they don't get $500 million of funding for Planned Parenthood. So whose principles are stronger here? The Democrats wanting to fund the abortion that comes out of Planned Parenthood, or the Republicans like me and the president who want to follow through on a mandate that came from the American people? When you put it in those terms, President Trump is definitely gonna be able to pull this off. Let's show Trump the American people voted on their wall by sharing this plan out everywhere so the president himself sees it. Don't mess with Rex Tillerson's stone-cold ultimatum to Pakistan will have them breaking out in sweat. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson is done with Pakistan's games, and he just put them on notice in a big way. On Monday President Trump said that he would not immediately withdraw troops from Afghanistan, for fear of leaving a power vacuum that would be filled with Islamic extremist groups. Nevertheless, he doesn't want this to be a repeat of the same 16 years. Pakistan has long been accused of aiding and abetting terrorism while overtly claiming to fight it. Rex Tillerson delivered that message directly. "We are going to be engaging with Pakistan in a very serious and thorough way as to our expectations and the conditions that go with that." Tillerson also said that U.S. airstrikes are still on the table. "We are going to attack terrorists wherever they live. And we have put people on notice that if you are harboring or providing safe haven to terrorists, be warned, be forewarned." Besides airstrikes, Tillerson also said the U.S. could coerce Pakistan into cooperation through other means, such as sanctions or withdrawing Pakistan's ally status. All those things are on the table for discussion, if, in fact, they are unwilling to change their posture or change their approach to how they're dealing with the numerous terrorist organizations that find safe haven in Pakistan. Boom. The era of America tolerating and ignoring Pakistan's penchant for funding terrorism is over. Tillerson and Trump are a great team, and together they will get this done. H.T. Washington Examiner. Vote her out. Maxine Waters' disgusting two-word insult to Ben Carson left jaws hanging. Our favorite crazy person in Congress, Maxine Waters, is at it again with yet another long-winded screed against President Trump and his administration. This time, however, her comments were even more outlandish than usual, taking aim at Secretary of Housing and Urban Development Ben Carson. Waters spoke at a town hall event on Thursday to talk about the violent events in Charlottesville and managed to call President Trump and some of his cabinet members white supremacists, including Ben Carson, who is black, and Secretary of Treasury Steve Mnuchin, who is Jewish. Here are her exact words. While the president was defending the white nationalists and the KKK and all of those alt-right groups who were basically out there in Virginia literally beating and marching and ranting about Jews and black people. But this is what this cabinet looks like, whether we talk about Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin or Ben Carson, who's over at HUD. If you think reclaiming my time that I did with Mnuchin, you wait till Ben Carson comes. Well, guess I've heard it all, folks. Never mind that President Trump actually condemned racism and hate groups shortly after the Charlottesville event. In the land of the Democrats, even Jewish and black people can be white supremacists and support hateful organizations like the KKK. On the one hand, it is tiring to hear this crazy nonsense. On the other hand, this is exactly why these people keep losing elections. Let's make sure everyone knows about how crazy these Democrats are by sharing this 10,000 times to get the out of office. HT Town Hall. Urgent. Seconds ago, Trump made an announcement that'll change our military forever. The White House is about to issue guidance to the Pentagon on how to put in effect Trump's transgender ban on the military. According to the Narrative Times, a White House memo is set to be delivered to the Defense Department and detail how Trump wants to bar transgender people from the military. Under Trump's new policy, it'll be left up to Defense Secretary James Mattis as to whether a transgender service member can deploy as the major criteria to keep them in the service, says The Hill. The two-page memo will give Secretary Mattis 6 months to put in a plan to implement the ban, according to White House officials. Here is what Mattis said during his testimony to Congress earlier this year. Do you think Trump made the right choice to ban transgenders from the military in this way? Share this everywhere if you agree with Trump that we need people that will help us win wars and not drain our military resources. Don't let the liberals twist this one. Let's get it out first. God bless all of our troops and thanks for reading. Final straw. Trump just gave McConnell an ultimatum that will mortify him. There's a rule in the Senate that requires 60 votes for cloture, or ending debate so that a vote can happen. You see, senators are supposed to be allowed to talk, or debate, about an issue as long as necessary. 60 votes are required to stop the discussion, or debate. Sometimes there's a filibuster, or someone who talks and debates, and talks some more, just to stall or stop legislation from proceeding. Okay, end of government lesson for today. On to the point. President Trump wants Mitch McConnell to get rid of the 60-vote requirement, so that the Senate can pass some laws. Otherwise, says Trump, they won't be able to do anything. That's right, you just witnessed the cluster for yourself. Unbelievable. Trump can't tolerate McConnell's attitude that it's okay for them to do nothing, pass nothing. McConnell, for his part, is resolute that he will not do what the president is urging. According to him, there's not a single senator in the majority that wants to change the 60-vote rule. What does that tell you? It tells me that they are fine with the status quo. Of not getting anything done. That's just so disappointing and reaffirms that we have got to drain the swamp. If you agree, please share and comment "Drain the Swamp." H.T. Breitbart. Sheriff Arpaio just sacrificed everything to tell Neil Cavuto what Obama did to him. Sheriff Joe Arpaio spoke with Neil Cavuto from Fox Business Network on Wednesday and made it very clear that he loved the president's amazing speech last night. On Tuesday, President hinted that he might pardon Arpaio, but he didn't. Joe Arpaio: "It was a great evening for me. I really appreciate the president's nice comments and support. And one day I will go public and talk about the tremendous abuse of the process. If they can do what they did to me, they can do it to anybody. It started 60 days after Obama and Holder took office. That's when it started. And here we are now. I'm being charged with a misdemeanor, contempt of court. The sentence will be the same for barking dogs. This is strictly a political hit. I will be talking about that in the future. I have a great deal of respect for him. As long as he is president, I will support him. I wish a lot of other people would do the same." That is just amazing. Look what Sheriff Joe said about President Trump. Every able-bodied patriot reading this post needs to share this right now and expose the crimes of our last president. Do you think Sheriff Joe should be pardoned?